Welcome to the Dyatmika Engage Parent Portal video guide. So if you go to engage.dyatmika.org, you'll get to the home page. At this point, you simply put in your email address and password, and you can select which language you wish to use. And we have Bahasa Indonesia if you wish. Once you log in, you get the home page. You should see a photo of your children and some notices, a calendar, and some documents. So we'll briefly go through this page first. So notices I'll come back to because it's linked to the timetable. But in this area, you may get some updates about fees, about extracurricular sign up that you've already done, so confirmation, and also upcoming assessments for your children. In the calendar, there are various settings: daily, weekly, monthly, and an agenda, which is my preferred. You can see the list of all the events coming up over the next couple of weeks. In the documents section, we have the catering menus for ordering any catering for your children, and the parent handbook. In the back of the parent handbook as well, there are all the email addresses of all the staff to contact at school. Okay, you can access your child through View Details, but I will focus on the left-hand menu because it takes care of a lot of things. So first of all, your details. It's very important these are up to date. If they're not correct, please click the Edit button and update either your email or your phone number, or you can request a change by emailing us. You can also update your password if you wish. When you click on this, you'll see a list of all of your children, or in this case, we just have one. Again, there's some more details. So this is extremely important to check regularly. This is quite static information. So for example, date of birth and entry date, but it's important that this is correct. And then to keep up to date, general contact details for you. Again, your email address and home address and phone number. Okay, then more student focused. If we click on timetable, there's a lot more information here than just timetable. So this is date based, so we can click on this and pick any week throughout the year. If you'd like to print the timetable, you can click the export to PDF and print. If we look at the full timetable, you'll see there's a few other additions to daily lessons, and that's once extracurriculars are signed up and confirmed, they will appear. And there might also be a short lunch lesson where students have either signed up to an extracurricular or they're assigned extra maths or English lessons. They're short 20-minute lessons, leaving half an hour still for lunch. You'll notice some icons on these lessons. We put very brief lesson information about a topic. And so if you hover over this, you'll be able to see that there's a lesson plan about a novel study. If we click on it, there'll be a little bit more detail to write a short autobiography, for example, in this case, and refer the full information referring the students to their Google Classroom and a due date. Now, with this assignment, we can also see that that due date is tomorrow, and there is an icon here that says that is due in, the short autobiography is due in on Wednesday. So as a parent, you can easily log into the timetable section here, and you can see what's being studied and any deadline dates. We send an update of homework that if there's been some not completed on Thursday afternoon, and you can refer back to this to see what the tasks were and discuss it with your children. Or even better, keep an eye on this occasionally and help your children with their planning of work and when to do it to hit the deadlines. The final area we'll do with this as well is there's a slightly different thing here. This is assignment, and this says a revision for a test. If there is a test coming up, we'll note it on the lesson plan. There may be some revision resources, or that will be referred to on Google Classroom. And for this one, the hand-in date will be the date of the test. So if we go to next week, you'll see the hand-in date is that's the test date. And We don't do this for homework, but when there is a test coming up, you will be sent a portal notice that there is a test coming up next week for maths. Okay, after this is medical details. Obviously, it's important to check this and update us. So email us if there's any updates to medical details. We have a school nurse here, and if a student goes to the school nurse, she will look up the student and check all of this first, if there's any allergies or any past medical records that we have. So it's very important. In this section, you can see a list of all the subjects and the subject teachers. You can use this to then look at the parent handbook and find the email address if you need to contact a teacher directly. Lesson plans, we don't use that much, and it's easier to access them via the timetable. Siblings is a shortcut to brothers and sisters. These areas we don't really use. Attendance is useful to keep a track of overall attendance. Our minimum attendance requirement is 90%, and you can see a percentage here. This student doesn't have good attendance. There are various categories for attendance. For example, if students are on a trip, entering a sports competition that you've let us know about, or we do authorize up to 3 days a year for perhaps a family or religious event. And if we're assured and the student keeps up with work via online from Google Classroom, we will actually mark them as present for those days so it doesn't go against their attendance percentage. Outside of this, obviously illness or any other kind of trip that you've let us know about, just a holiday, which we do not approve of, will be marked down and go into absence. You can see the overall percentages, and you can see day by day, morning and afternoon registration. Just to note, if a student is late in the morning, that will go down as late, but counted as present, unless they arrive after 8 o'clock, and then that late will actually be marked down as absence for the morning. Assessment reports. So at the end of each term, there will be a report for all students in high school, in primary at the end of each semester. In here, you'll be able to select the reporting period, and it will actually list all of the reports in the last 6 years since your child's been at Dyatmika, or the last 6 years, and you can click on that report and download the PDF. Finally, in this section, there is an assessment section. This is more raw assessment data, and if we do publish something in this area, I send out a guide of how to access it. This area daybook, this has a running record of basically updates about your child, and generally we use this for things like merit certificates or certificates in assembly to keep a log of that. So you can search date-based based on, for example, this year, click there, and you can search and see if they've gained any certificates this year. Activities. So for activity booking, each term will display here. If you click on the term, when the activities are live, you will see within each time slot, either lunchtime or after school activities, you will see a list of activities here and be able to drag them across to sign up. Once you've signed up, the activity will be listed, and you will still be able to see the times and any more information about that activity. If you want to look as an overview for the whole week, there is an activities review. You can filter this by term, and you can see what's been signed up to and if there's a cost to pay. We don't use this section. This section is the calendar, and this just provides a more user-friendly view of the calendar. And finally, we have our useful website section. First of all, our school website sometimes gets overlooked, but there's a lot of information on here. So for example, if we go to high school, in this section, we have general information about the high school, and then we have a learning section. In each area of the school, so lower high school, class 6, 7, and 8, there is a handbook which outlines all of the programs that we run and subjects that we run. In class 9 and 10, we also have a course choice booklet. This is where the students start making subject choices to lead into their Cambridge IGCSE examinations at the end of class 10. And finally, for class 11 and 12, there is an information booklet, which again, it covers the exam programs, but for the advanced level for before they graduate. There is also a link to the library website, which is a fantastic resource where you can renew your books, suggest books that we buy, search the whole catalogue with your children and find books for them to read. There's a link to Accelerated Reader, which is a reading program we use for students to answer comprehension questions online and get rewards for their reading. There's information here about us being an SPK school and the double award program. And finally, the high school schemes of work. So these give an overview for any subject, for any class level, a general overview of the work being studied term by term. Finally, and also on the high school website, in the Engage section, we have this video guide, but also the app video guide. Now the app is more general, so this is a generic guide to the app. You can download it from the Play Store or the Apple App Store. The school code is capital DYA 786, and then you can log in with the same details as the parent portal. The app doesn't have full functionality, but you can see attendance, school reports, and student and contact details on there, so it's very useful as a quick login.